So I was kind of dumbing around the fish room today, and I stumbled upon myself. Something I'd like to share with you guys is water sprite. As you can see back here, I have a lot of it. It grows like a weed. I find that it grows better when you float it. It grows just as well if you put it in your substrate, but if you have bright light and you float it, I find it grows a lot faster. There's a couple reasons why I like water sprite. One, it can be eaten as food for your herbivore fish. Two, it provides distraction. If you're having aggression issues, you can float it and it breaks that line of sight, gives the fish something to swim in and out of. And you can actually, fish love to swim in it. They can breed in it. It's a great plant for bettas because bettas love to rest on it up by the surface. I've used that in my bettas tanks and they really enjoy it. It's got multiple reasons why it's a fantastic plant, one of my favorite. But recently I tried something different. I'm like, let me try something. Let me show you what I did. As you can see here, I put a big glop of it in my 75-gallon mbuna tank. Now, I don't expect this plant to thrive in here because the pH is a little bit higher, and the mbunas are herbivores. They like their veggies, and as you can see, they're picking at it already. Instantly, as soon as I put this in here, big time interest. Now, I didn't do this just for the purpose of giving them something to munch on. I did it for a few reasons. One reason is it's something different in the tank. It gives the fish something else to do, something else to be interested in, breaks up the boredom, which promotes positivity within the fish. And just like people, if you promote positivity and have a positive mindset, it's healthy for you all around, mind and body. This is also going to break even more line of sight. Doing stuff like this with fish such as these cichlids here will help reduce aggression. And like I said, gives themselves something to do. I'll leave it in there for a while and see how things go. I'm hoping they munch on it. But another thing that I like about it, as you can see, the beautiful green plants make the tank look so much better. And if you can leave it in the comments below what you think, if you feel it makes the tank look even better. Let me know what you think. I think it does. I think anytime you add any greenery in a tank, it makes it look more natural. It just makes everything pop. It's making the colors pop within the fish. That's one thing I wanted to share with you. So as you can see here, I put some of my 55-gallon tiger barb tank as well. There's no missing it. You can see I'm having cyanobacteria in this tank. I have this issue in a couple tanks. This one in my tiger Oscar tank. I'm hoping as you can see, the fish, there's been water sprite in this tank before, but as you can see, it promotes interest in them. It gives them something else to do, something else to be interested in. They are enjoying swimming in and out of it. Again, just like with the cichlids, gives themselves something to do, promotes positivity. And if they want to, they can nibble and pick at it. But the idea too about putting it in this tank was to maybe block some of the light. I wanted to douse down some of the light to help reduce algae. I'm getting the cyanobacteria covering everything. I do suck all this out every time I do maintenance. I have treated this tank with erythromycin, which did get rid of, I'm going to say 95% of the cyanobacteria, but I didn't get it all, therefore it come back, as you can see. If you don't get it all, it's going to come back. It's a hard thing to combat, and after a while you kind of give up on it. It doesn't cause any harm. If enough of it does build up in your aquarium, it can cause issues. I put a video out on this. I can link it over here. And as you can also see, I have put some DIY breeding mops in here because I am trying to breed these guys. I'll put some more videos out on that if I actually get eggs. We'll see. So let me show you where I got all this water spray from. Nice thing is here, I pulled a good bit of it out of this 20-gallon long. Yeah, all that you've seen in the 55-gallon tiger barb tank came out of this tank. It's good to thin it out every once in a while because it does grow and it starts taking over everything and the fish start getting limited space to swim. It also allows more light to come back in for the other plants to grow. This tank is doing really well, but I had to thin out the water sprite. But you see how much I got out of this tank, and you can see it's getting more light in here now. Let me show you the other tank. I pulled a lot of it out. The 125-gallon community tank. I always have water sprite in here. There's still some up in here. The big chunk you saw in the African cichlid mbuna tank came out of this tank. Now along with that does come some snails. But that brings me to another point about moving plants. It's not just water sprite, but I do get a lot of snails hanging out in the water sprite. I purposely wanted to put more snails back in the 55-gallon tank so they can help maybe eat up some of this excess algae that's in there and help clean the tank up a little bit. So it was like a two-part thing. In doing that, you see this whole area was covered with water sprite at the top. Now that gives the fish a little bit more room to swim, lets a little bit more light in for the other plants, like this Amazon sword down here. And it changes the environment for the fish. Just even pulling plants out, I've noticed, the fish are like, oh my God, what happened? It's a change. And change is good. It's good to change up your scape every once in a while. I recommend doing it periodically. I don't aquascape. I'm not into it because I keep fish for keeping fish. And when you keep fish like that, sometimes you got to rearrange crap to get a good cleaning and change things around. And I don't want a pristine tank that you don't ever want to touch and leave be like a tiny little fish in it. I keep fish to keep fish. So my tanks are never going to be these beautiful, immaculate tanks that you never touch, and they look like that pristine, untouched snow that hasn't even been walked through yet. I'm the kind of guy that has to go out there and mess it all up really quick because it just drives me crazy. Let me show you how good the water sprite's doing in the 29 gallon. So here, as you can see, is my 29 gallon, and here I got a lot of different plants. And you can see how much it has grown. It just made this swath, which I think makes it look really cool. And I wasn't even trying to do that. That's the thing, just let it go. It's gonna do things itself, and that's how it turned out. I got some Asian water ferns in here. I got some jungle fowl, crips, Amazon swords. There's a mix of stuff in here. But I think this tank looks pretty good. What I'm going to do is just take you for a quick walk around the fish room so you can see what I mean by plants just making things look so much better. See, now I used to have some nice plants in this tank, but the Oscars messed it up, so I kind of leave that alone. So that's why this tank looks kind of like a barren, stick, wooden river thing. Down there you can see it, that's got a bunch of jungle fowl in it. That's a female beta in that tank. But as you come around, these lights are turning off here. I got to do some more work with this tank with plants because all the plants I have in here got algae growing all over except for that jungle fowl. And as you go around, you just come around to this mbuna tank and it's just beautiful. Again, let me know in the comments below what you think about this. I think it's gorgeous. I just keep going around the room, and now that I added the water sprite in the 55-gallon tiger barb tank, it just adds so much to it. Down here in my 10-gallon sink cap dirted tank, the plants in here are always fantastic. I have to thin that out because they're just bursting out of the aquarium. And as you keep going around the room, it's just beautiful. Now that I thinned this tank out, a little bit more light's getting through. It changes it up for the fish. They have more room to swim. Put a little quick video out there with some tips with plants and everything we discussed within the video. Going forward, I'll be making a few changes with doing things like this. I got to do something with that Oscar tank, make it look a little bit nicer, but I don't think the Oscars are going to allow it. Once they are in a tank and it's established it's their tank and they will not tolerate anything new, that goes with fish and plants alike, rocks, they're going to mess with it. That's just an Oscar attitude. But that's it, guys. Appreciate you stopping by. You have a safe rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video. Comment below, and if you have any tips and tricks, let me know as well. So, and there's a lot of other plants out there that can do the same thing. Water sprite. I believe Ross Baltimore is going to be sending me some water sprite soon. When he does, I'll be putting a video on that. If you don't know Ross Baltimore, make sure you sub to him. He's an awesome breeder, got a lot of tanks, beautiful fish over there, knows his stuff, knows his plants. Excuse me. And so, yeah. Next video.